This is probably my best journal yet. But before I flip through this journal, let me set the stage. These pages cover from January of 2019 through October of 2020, a period when everything shifted. The world shut down with COVID, and my own life took a sharp turn that I'm still processing to this day. This journal carries all of that energy. I've kept drawing journals since 1996. That's when I started drawing every single day. It's been on and off since then. But this one somehow stands out. Something in these pages feels sharper, more deliberate, almost like I finally understood how to use a journal as a real working tool. The question now is simple. Did these drawings actually translate into stronger paintings? Did the ideas hold up once they left the paper? Stick around and you'll soon find out. But now, let's open this up and find out what's in it and what makes it my favorite. So here it is. I titled this one Liber Ipsius Eruditionis. In Latin, that means the book of self-learning discipline. Obviously, I wasn't drawing every single day, but there's so many drawings in here, so much to unpack. Can't wait to share with you. Sol semper lucet post tempestate. The sun always comes after the tempest. Something I kept repeating myself. I usually start off all my journals with a self-portrait. Here's some rules, maxims, commandments, things I wanted to teach myself, including Latin. I was really into it. Pen and ink drawings, studies, animals. Temet noce means know thyself. And here's my own homage to Michelangelo. Ideas I had for retablos and altarpieces I started here. This was a large commission that I was working on back in 2019. So you'll see a lot of anatomy studies that I did for that piece that year. And I really had a lot of fun working on that. It was based on the book of Genesis, Garden of Eden, the fruit of knowledge, but of course, bringing in some other esoteric ideas and commentary on consumer culture and whatnot. This is my own personal alignment that I'm trying to, at that moment I was trying to align myself, align my chakras and my areas of discipline that I wanted to learn and be better at. Alchemy, natural history, philosophy, tarot, astrology, archetypes. Preliminary sketches for altarpieces that I really wanted to work on. Anatomy studies again. These were with Faber-Castell colored pencils. They're my favorite to work with. I used different models for these, including some of coming from antiquity, from the murals of Pompeii and some other art references. There's so much to unpack here. There's the Ouroboros, the ever-evolving serpent, biting its own tail, and this representation, there's two, not one. And there are many ideas that I explored in this book, from my own history to history of humanity, and trying to connect it all, make sense of it all through an archetypal mindset, using astrology, using tarot, and other esoteric traditions to bridge it all. Multiple preliminary sketches here. As I said, my mind was just all over the place, like trying to make sense of all of these narratives and archetypes throughout history. Again, here is a clear set of priorities that I had at the moment, with science, alchemy, history, mysticism, philosophy, meditation, language. In that case, it was Latin that I was studying. Ars longa, vita brevis. Right? Art is long and life is brief. I wanted to really focus on those areas just to improve myself. Being a humanist, almost like a Renaissance man, if you will. It is not the things themselves that disturb men, but their judgments about the things. Epictetus. Yeah, I really was into Stoic philosophy back then. I felt it helped me get through many things, many challenges in life. Still to this day, I feel like Stoic philosophy does that. The archetypes, they become the primary directive and primary focus of my interest here. So I'm writing all the keywords associated with Mercury from archetypal astrology. Hermes, the god of language, of intellect, of reason, medium, channel, translator, of mischief as well, and magic. My son Francis. Uranus, it's all about revolution, change. God, liberator, Promethean, fire, freedom. There's some key dates that I took from Cosmos and Psyche from the book, this book from Richard Tarnas, which has been a big influence, and at the time it was. Here's my son Francis again, my wife Blanca. Hathor, Europa. I love Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology, all world mythologies. Myths, fictions, believing, conspiracy theories, all of those things fascinated me at the time, and I felt like there's a lot to be said about these things. Conspiracy theories, UFOs, reptilian people, all that is part of our modern day mythologies. Like now we have access to so much information, but there's also so much misinformation and disinformation. It's hard to make sense of it all. Discern what's truth from reality. And now it's even worse with this post-truth era where even AI is just faking videos and you don't know what's real from what's not. Here we have Venus or Aphrodite, goddess of love. It's all about love, inspiration, art, creativity. The less one has, the happier one is. Minimisa, minimize. Why so many colors on my palette? It becomes harder to decide what to paint. I was also reading the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I was really inspired by Stoic philosophy, so you might find a few things here and there scattered throughout the pages. Again, I really enjoy doing pencil drawings of anatomy, and these really help me a lot with painting. Neptune, archetypal planet of illusions, addictions, deceptions, dreams, visions. And I find these fascinating because they make more sense when I use them as a lens to see history in my own life. Some studies of insects and my personal creative guide that I was implementing. Here I was implementing a little bit of Stoic philosophy into my own creative practice. I feel like in the end, a bottom line is art is really about knowing thyself. Knowing where you come from, where you're heading, what really matters to you, and what's inspiring you, and why is that inspiring you? What is leading you towards that path? So art becomes like a channel in order to understand those questions and answer those questions. Qui sum? Who am I? There you go. I write my dreams, but then I go back to the archetypes and then try to find correspondences between those archetypes and Stoic maxims. I'm very much identified with the hermit, You can see that as a recurring character, but there's another recurring archetype throughout these pages that I suspect many of you might have spotted already. Some anatomy studies, pen and ink. If you've seen Adam and Eve reappearing again and again, you know which tarot card we're referring to there. Portraits of my son again, studying some Latin. Oh my God, so much time spent on this. And there's so much to learn in this world. It's just so overwhelming. There's so much to catch up with. And then you add something else that's just impractical in so many ways. I love the sound of it. I love the history. I love the cognotations, the association with empire and science and religion and all of that. But it just comes to a point where you have to decide your priorities because time is limited. Not all of the drawings here are perfect, of course. Many are very flawed and even cringe. But they're part of the process, and that's what matters. Another commission I had here. Boy, now that I think about it, I had quite a few commissions those years. Here's another one. And it helped me get through the pandemic, because those were really tough years. Pretty sure that for many of you as well. And these drawings, I took them out for this commission. This collector wanted these drawings, and he had them framed. So these are copies. They're not going to make justice to the originals, but at least it's better than nothing, and they stand as evidence for the pages that were there once. You can see they don't quite match the same size, but they're there just to remember what I did. I never sell my drawings from a journal, but I made the exception. I felt like it was, yeah, why not? Let's do that. COVID, of course, how can we forget that? It was brutal. First indication that we're in for a rough ride here. I think all these drawings and preliminary sketches of collapse, an imminent collapse, kind of reflect the insecurities and uncertainties that we were facing at that time. Some studies of mammals from natural history. Of course, these are all extinct. You know, the dodo bird, but there are others, because I felt like there was something interesting to be explored conceptually with these, and the whole theme of extinction, the existential threat and the existential crisis that we all face, especially during a pandemic. Now with AI and misalignment, there are many things to think about. So many sketches, so many ideas. Many of them came into paintings, others didn't. You'll see soon. These lines here, you see those lines? That was my son scribbling over my paper there. I said, what can I do? There you have the masked figure reflecting on the pandemic. There again, those marks. Yeah, my son. He was 1 year old. I mean, he just went in and just drew on my journal. What can you expect? There the masks. Again, going through the pandemic. Oh my God, I don't want to even remember that. Those years were tough. They were brutal. So there are a lot of esoteric material here in these pages that I'm trying to make sense of the elements and all of it, from with alchemy, tarot, astrology, and with my own set of primary directives, if you will, or issues that I feel are important. And I think the 4 issues that really stand out to me was obviously the pandemic. So global pandemics, viruses, and all that, which has been present throughout human history, but also nuclear threat. Then you have climate change, and you also have technological disruption. And I was moving to a new home at the time, so they didn't have much time to draw. I was doing all the moving stuff, boxes and all. But here, finally, there's some interesting ideas that were all coming together. I see a very interesting correspondence between the figures from archetypal astrology, tarot, consumer culture, and I thought of color palettes for each period of my life, which sometimes would extend to 5 or 7 years, 7-year periods, sometimes shorter than that. But it made sense to look at it from this kind of lens. There you have it, the lovers, Jovian lovers. Curio chariot, the Platonic justice, the Neptunian hermit, which is where I am now, right? Trying to make sense of these patterns throughout human history, but in my own life as well. Uranian wheel of fortune, which is like the future, looking up to the future, what's coming next. I look back at this book and I still have a lot to learn about myself and the things that I've been reading, the things that I've been trying to assimilate and view through a creative lens. There's Fortuna again. I remember this painting. You'll see the paintings in a bit and be able to see the correlation between the paintings and these drawings, how they came out. This is probably my best journal yet. Still, I feel like not perfect. What really matters in the end is the development of the ideas, how well I was able to conjugate concepts, archetypes, and all of these things coming together and making sense of the world around me. Probably the pandemic, which hit us all very hard, had that positive effect, that there was this silver lining that allowed us to go deep into some immersive introspection, have time with ourselves, and that really helped me discern among the things that I have been playing a part in my life and that have been shaping my views, my understanding of the world around me and myself. As I said, not perfect, but what's coming next, 2026, I hope is going to be even better. Now I want to really push the envelope, take a deeper look into what is possible, take this even further. At the same time, it's easy to forget what we've been through and how much we learned. And that's the value on these that I find is essential. Now that you've seen the drawings, let's have a look at what they became. These paintings from 2019 and 2020 came directly out of this journal. Ideas that began as loose sketches ended up as finished works, sometimes with very little changes, sometimes transformed in ways I did not expect. But since this channel is also about archetypes, look closely. Look at those paintings, compare them with the sketchbook. See if you can spot any recurring characters. I see the lovers from the tarot again and again. Not just the romantic pair, but the deeper meaning of that card. It's all about choices. The choices that shape everything. Who we walk with, what we create, where do we choose to live, how do we spend our time. It's about the fork in the road, the moment where you decide which version of yourself you're willing to follow. These drawings carry all of those questions, and the paintings respond to them, almost as if they were a pair of lovers in a deep creative conversation. There's a reason I saved this journal for last. It has been the quiet standard I measure myself against, and I want to surpass it. In 2026, I plan to return to the old promise I made in 1996. Draw every single day. No shortcuts, no excuses, not for the algorithm, not for the likes, not because I'm going to be paid for it, of course not, but for my own clarity and for the discipline that keeps the creative vision alive. This is not about nostalgia. It's about love, devotion, practice, and the simple act of just showing up. Doing it because it's something that fills you up, fills your soul. But for now, here are the paintings that came out of these years. And I'll have no commentary. You be the judge. So this might be the last video of 2025. I want to thank you all for being here, for watching, for sticking around, for returning to these journals with me. I want to wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in January with a blank book. Can't wait to get started with this one. Sharpened pencils, new ideas, new work, new videos to share with all of you. But till next time, peace.